What I have, first of all, is I'll ask you at the end if you have any just thought bubbles about what that governance might look like. And I'm deliberately calling them something as unthreatening as thought bubbles, because I know that none of us have the answer. And I mean, those are the questions that are most important and most fascinating and urgent that we don't have the answer to. But we're also coming up to an election. And so things that are as unthreatening as thought bubbles are things that we can happily talk about right now. So I'll come back at the end and ask you if you have any thought bubbles to give people pointers in their thinking about that. I just want to give a very quick commentary on what I heard, and then ask you if there's anything that you wish had gone better, particularly with reference to the governance. Yesterday, I talked about the research that we had done overseas about aspects of decision-making arrangements or governance that had gone incredibly well, in places that had gone incredibly well. And pretty much all of those elements have clearly been present in Dandenong. You talked about the extensive early engagement before decisions were made, and then keeping residents engaged even through quite, as you call it, sort of extreme intervention and, possibility for compulsory acquisition of land and so on. And then also that there's been a consistency of strategic direction, which will, hopefully continue, a 15 to 20-year horizon, because change takes a long time. So in fact, most of the questions that I had, you answered in the presentation, which is fantastic. So the question that I do have is there anything that you wish had gone better in terms of the governance?
Yes, you can always look at something like this, and as you should, I guess, and wish there might be some other things. I think everyone's been on a learning curve here, and I include the everyone in that, the Victorian State Government. They've intervened at a very brave level. They've put in almost $300 million into this. That's very, very impressive stuff. I think the thing that would be a take-out learning, though, is who is the state government? The vision of a part of government and that very, very impressive injection into a project like this, I think needed more consultation. Heaven forbid, it would have taken a few more months again, but within government before the consultation happened beyond government, because that buy-in from the different departments and agencies has had to, in a sense, been done on the fly as the project's evolved. But we're all just getting used to this idea, and so it's really easy for me to say that now. But if we were to repeat the trick in whatever form, I think the voice of authority needs to be had to say, yes, this is a target location. That means that certain outcomes that certain parts of government take pride in achieving might have to be suboptimal in their view of the world in order to achieve a bigger picture. So it is very hard for an agency like Vic Urban, even though we're government owned, to actually have that kind of unifying voice. We certainly, I think, can run into danger of being seen to be thinking we're the centre of the universe. Now, I have a very, very talented team who I think actually managed to do this beautifully, and it's all down to the individuals under people like Dom Arcaro, who is here, who have been able to, because of personal relationships, make this work. But it shouldn't have to be quite up to that level.
It so frequently is, though, isn't it? The amount of investment that goes into collaboration and relationships and trust, and that's just within government.
Yes,
yeah.
Indeed.
But it also goes back to the essence of placemaking, that there are so many different things that are involved and how governments struggle to integrate around that. And I'm just watching the time. We should deliver you out of here in 3 minutes, but just before you go, any thought bubbles about the governance that could have prevented this kind of thing being necessary?
I think one of the big lessons for me from this conference thus far is that observation that conversations with communities are better across communities rather than between government and communities. I'm paraphrasing, but that is the takeout that you, in fact, were making a point similar to this. And I think we need to explore how we can work with other communities and start the conversation in those communities, and with the local government being the key element in those conversations. But I would suggest with some ground rules attached. No change is not an option. Densification or accommodating population is a requirement, and with certain parameters around that thought. And so within that parameter, what is the best solution for your community? I think if that can be done as much as possible outside a governance construct, the better we'll be off. But I don't have the answer.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much. We should let you go to not be in time and limit career for the Minister. Thank you very much, Pru Sanderson.